Good evening, everyone. It's going on 9 o'clock. We've been reading through the book of Genesis tonight. We're going to read through Genesis 49. I'm going to turn this over to Mark and have him read it, and then I'll make some comments about it.
Genesis chapter 49. Jacob called unto his sons, said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Gather yourselves together and hear, you sons of Jacob. Hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power, and the stable as water thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, and defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brethren, instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret, into their assembly, mine honor, be not thou united. For in their anger they slew a man, in their self-will they dig down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. The father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He crouched as a lion, as an old lion, and he shall rouse him up. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, till Shiloh come, and to him shall the gathering of the people be. Binding his fowl unto the vine, and his ass's colt on the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his borders shall be unto Zidon. Issachar is a strong ass crouching down between two burdens. Saw that rest was good, and the land that was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear. Became a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, an adder in the path, that biteth the horse's heels, so his rider shall fall backward. I'm waiting for thy salvation, O Lord. Gad, a troop shall overcome him. He shall overcome at the last. Out of Aser his bread shall be fat, and he shall yield royal for dainties. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth godly words. Joseph is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over a wall. Arches have sorely grieved him, shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel, even by the God of thy father, who shall help thee. And by the Almighty, who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breast and of the tomb of the womb. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors, and the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin shall rave it as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel, and this is that their father spake unto them, and blessed them every one according to him. To his blessings he blessed them, and he charged them, and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite for possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife. There I buried Leah. The purchase of the field of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. When Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed, and yielded up the ghost that was gathered unto his people.
Thank you, Mark.
Yep.
Well, this chapter is really a summary of kind of the history of Jacob and his family. And he's telling them what's going to come to pass. And he mentions all of his children and kind of tells a little bit about them. He said Reuben was excellent of dignity and excellent of power, but speaking of his Simeon and Levi, he said they're instruments of cruelty. And he said, Judah, thou art he whom thou brethren shall praise. And Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea. Issachar, couching down between two burdens. Dan shall judge his people. Gad, a truth shall overcome them. Naphtali is a hind let loose. Joseph is a fruitful bough. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. Well, notice here that Jacob mentions all 12 of his sons. And the 12 tribes of Israel are mentioned here. And in Revelation, it talks about that God is going to have 12,000 from every one of the tribes of Israel that are going to be preaching the gospel during the last days. We know that Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Well, I hope you all have a blessed day tomorrow, and the Bible is full of history, and it's also full of prophecy, and it's significant because of the carrying over from the Old Testament to the New Testament. May the good Lord be with you today in a special way. It's my prayer. God bless.